believe it is, Obscura. It's the Mordekaiser mid. This is a champion that I like to play pre-30, and then once I hit level 30, I realized there was this thing called a jungler, and if you're playing against a jungler, it kind of screws up your day. So let's see how Westor makes it through. Like, Mordekaiser is one of those champions that he's ridiculously strong in lane, but he's really afraid of ganks. He has no escape whatsoever.
What do you think the Mordekaiser versus LeBlanc matchup is like?
I'd say that Mordekaiser can probably, if he can keep his shield up continuously, then LeBlanc isn't actually that much of a threat. Where LeBlanc gets really dangerous is when LeBlanc throws the 2 chains in and then you have a Rek'Sai coming right underneath of you. There's really no escaping from that. And the other thing about Mordekaiser is that, especially mid Mordekaiser, he doesn't really do that much in late game. He's best when he can build straight offense around that like 2-3 mid game item range. But once it gets to 5 and 6, he needs the Zanyas. He needs another defensive item against AD carries. And in this case, Lupin has Tristana, which is a pure AD carry, and also a late game hyper carry. So Mordekaiser is, I think it's a troubling pick, and there's a lot of reasons we don't see him in the meta right now.
Indeed, although I'm guessing that their plan is just to push as hard as possible. Hopefully, they won't have that kind of those straight up fights that he has to weather in the late game.
Exactly. I just want to talk about the composition slightly here. We see Gnar and Tristana here from TPA. It looks like they have a late game hyper carry to bring them through, and on AHQ's side, I'm really looking for maybe a mid 20 to 35 minute win here. Just the Mordekaiser and the Sivir are both more, they're not late game picks, I should put it that way. Yeah. So they're really trying to use their mobility here to get the good team fights and take it away.
And we actually see that the Mordekaiser started off with Doran's shield, presumably to mitigate the auto attack harass from Chawi.
Yeah, exactly, and it gives him a little extra regen since his most of his spells actually cost him his HP.
Now, does it necessarily? Actually, I'm playing else here. But the Doran's shield does mean that he is only able to pack a single potion in his inventory. So if he takes too much damage, that's still going to be problematic for him, especially if Chawi gets the spell damage early on instead. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The thing about,
you see that TPA is actually going for a 2-man top.
Interesting. They want to avoid like the Janna Sivir lane, which is actually really strong against Tristana early. Tristana, after the nerfs, she's no longer capable of standing very well against other AD carries. So I think this is a wise move here from TPA. Let's see if AHQ actually catches wind of this.
Yeah. So far, they have absolutely no idea that this is coming. This does mean as if it's going to have a hard time, though, as even with the Crystalline Flask to keep himself sustained.
That's such a cheesy, cute play from AHQ right there. Did you see it?
Yeah, Westor popped the smaller birds for a bit of extra CS.
Yeah, they actually had Maokai put 2 saplings down, or maybe 3, and have Mordekaiser just pick up the small razor beaks there.
Yeah, free experience. That's actually a very helpful early game advantage for him, given that Chawi is going to be early on. It's going to be a problem. It's a melee versus ranged matchup, and even with the Doran shield, those auto attack harasses will eventually stack up. So what he's hoping to do is to stay safe under the turret, get a little of the extra farm so he can just level up on equal basis and try to stay out of trouble.
I want to point out that TPA actually has not managed to freeze the top lane, if I'm not mistaken, looking at their position. While Morny has decided to go double jungle with Wins at this point. This should be beneficial for Wins, actually. Like, Rek'Sai right now has great regen, so it's not going to be a problem for him. And we see Gnar trying to move back bot.
Yep, he's trying to time his time the bot lane with the lane pushing out from AN, and stay under turret, stay safe. He's not going to have necessarily a hard time farming though, given that he has no resources to burn.
Janna coming in.
The roam, the early roam, the green team roam. Chawi at this point should be relatively safe. Yeah, he just backs away.
Yeah, we see this play, I believe 2 days ago in OGN, where SKT1's Wolf just roamed level 2 against Goon, and the exhaust and W from Janna just secured a kill for Faker, and the game just completely snowballed from there.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, maybe Green Tea trying to replicate that success here.
Although I think that doing so against LeBlanc especially might be a little futile.
Yeah, exactly.
Ziv has actually managed to push up his lane with he's now assisted by Green Team directly with Jay having gone elsewhere to try to pick up a kill on AN. But it's actually kind of unusual for Tristana in a 2v1 situation to be pushed back so far.
I think there's might be a potential for a 2v2 bot here if TPA doesn't realize Albus is actually sitting in that bush.
Yep. Oh, Lupin eats the Twisted Advance and it gets knocked up, so he's actually chunked really low.
Yeah, just taking a look. Oh! Obscure?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Who was on play? Oh yeah, I'm on play-by-play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was defaulting there. We saw a Bodley gang go off as expected. Albus was not in fact spotted by TPA, so Jay was knocked down, really knocked back into respawn. But Morty is still in the fight. He gets a chunk on Mr. Albus. Wins is coming in to try to capitalize off of it. If he can get down the poke, he gets the advance on AN instead, and he goes down hard. That's the true damage for you.
Yeah, exactly. Rek'Sai coming in to clean that one up. So overall, still a 1-for-1. TPA actually slightly ahead in the gold so far.
And Lupin is still chunked, still low, but he's just farming safely. You actually see that he's picking up a farm advantage over AN right now. It's 36. He's like about 10 CS ahead, which isn't all that much, but it's I'm actually a little surprised it isn't more.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the CS numbers there between Ziv and Morning right there, and to my surprise, Morning actually managed to edge out CS lead despite TPA actually failing to freeze. But right now it's back again in AHQ Ziv's favor here.
Yeah, AHQ's lane control doesn't seem to be particularly strong at this moment. But oh, Chawi's in trouble. He's already used his yeah. Well, no, it's fine. Because Wins gets some damage. Oh, we see the teleport going down. Wins is trouble. He's picked off by Westdoor, who's a free kill onto him is really useful at this point. And HQ is now advancing for the turret. No, they're just backing off.
Yeah, that was a beautiful teleport there from Ziv. They forced TPA back, and in the end, they just had to give up Wins, who had already used his flash earlier.
Yeah, and with Wins down, they can safely take down the first dragon of the game at about 7 minutes. Jay is coming by to check on that, but they already spotted Jay with the ward, and they know that he can't do anything about it.
Yep.
Oh, you see a teleport going down. Jay gets the green death sentence onto Green Tea, starting off the fight. Chawi is dead, and Morty is in trouble. That was a really bad TP, actually, given... Oh, no, he's safe. The Lantern pulls him right back out.
Yeah, that actually baited his team a little bit. Chawi went a little bit forward, and I believe Jay was caught as well. And that ends up just another kill for AHQ there.
Yeah, AHQ is actually doing really well in the early game. Even Westdoor's getting 2 kills up now versus LeBlanc. He is behind on farm, but at 2 kills, who cares?
Yeah, and we're just looking at this Mordekaiser build. Like, it's been such a long time since I've actually seen a Mordekaiser. It's actually kind of surprising to see him coming back. But, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are seeing a Will of the Ancients. A long-forgotten item from the Season 2 days.
Heck, it's actually unusual to see Hex Tech Revolver these days, and that's just the initial item. It's otherwise used to be pretty good. Spellvamp was the nerfs to the Spellvamp has been so severe that nobody's actually seen it in the game for a while.
Yeah, man. Pretty much these days we only see it on top lane Akali, maybe going for that Hex Tech Gunblade. But otherwise, it's really not an item we see at all.
Yeah. We saw an attempt to do Death Sentence onto AN, but he had a spell shot up just in time. So, not much happening. It is, however, 2v2 bomb lane right now with Actually, with only 5 CS difference, there is really no advantage to either side in that matchup now.
Yeah, I want to talk about like the support item builds a little bit, just because this is the position I'm most familiar with. But actually, why don't you take over and talk about this incoming 2v2 fight top lane?
Well, it seems like a 2v2 fight top lane, but I'm not actually sure it's going to happen because Morning's actually going to push up right up under his turret. So I suspect that there's not going to be any dives.
Okay, then I can safely go on my support rants right now, though. So I just want to talk about Janna and Thresh, the two most popular supports we're seeing right now. Albus, please don't make a move. I'm in my support rant, please.
No, he's about to go in. Morning's exposed. Yeah, I'm actually surprised Albus isn't going for the Q right now. The resonating strike.
This is a lot of tension.
Come on, do it. Pull the trigger. You know you want to. Pull the trigger. He pulled the trigger, but it's, wow. Nice shot by Morning.
He just managed to get the hop away from it, all of it. That was anticlimactic. No.
Yeah, that was. But back onto the support rant.
Oh, okay, yeah. I almost forgot about it. Well, we were seeing, like, the early builds from Janna and Thresh, and we're seeing, like, Janna, just because she has her passive, we see more of the early Sightstone before boots, and in Thresh's turn, he's actually more accustomed to going for the early Moby boots before he's going to get that Sightstone. So that's just a little point I want to point out. You usually see a little better vision control here from Janna in the early game, just because she has that innate move speed. She doesn't need to worry that much. So she can just go into your jungle, ward things up. We've seen Mata do this a lot of times, and I think that's one of the reasons why we see that Janna is such a contested pick right now. She brings that disengage, great for your team, and overall she gets you vision as well.
Yeah. She's actually a really good roaming support just because the vision actually can gain you early on. We otherwise just see a lot of poking going on. We see that Wiz has dropped a whole ton of tunnels back in his space though, allowing him an easy retreat. But it seems as if most of his mid-map tunnels tend to be congregated around the mid lane instead. So it seems as if he's looking to try to catch Wester off. We do see that Lupin has been forced to use his ult to get away from the AHQ's gank attempt. The resonating strike misses him, and therefore he doesn't die.
Yeah, so that's a flash traded there. Albus's flash for Lupin's flash. Slightly in favor of AHQ right there. Overall, not too much harm done to either side. Ant did blow her ultimate right there. That's actually kind of a long cooldown early on. And we see she's probably...
yeah, that's this attempt by Jay, but I'm not sure that was a really great idea, given that there was a huge minion line to block it off. But, yeah, TPA is playing defensively now. They know that early on they are having some trouble trying to find purchase against AHQ. And it's right now just a farm game with no real clear advantage on that. Oh, except for that wins is 20 CS up against not Mr. Albus anymore, but just Albus.
Again, that's just that Rek'Sai advantage we're talking about. Yeah. When your kit gives you a free home guards, it's a lot easier to farm. And I also want to talk about the Maokai build here. So we're not going to get to see the new item, Righteous Glory. And,
yeah. We are, however, seeing that Ziv is forced to pop his ult to try to get away from Morning. But Morning has, in fact, stunned him and blown him against the side of the wall over there. So that's a one-on-one kill for Morning, and now he's dead.
Oh, wow.
That was a nice kick. Morning is in trouble. Yeah, Albus and Green Tea's role managed to pick him off in revenge, but having him win the 1v1 with a 20 CS advantage is pretty significant. The damage coming out of Morning means that, well, Morning is actually building damage over tankiness, but he's tanky enough that it's really hard. What am I saying? Basically, that Ziv is in trouble in the 1v1 situation, so he should try to stay out of the way. AN, however, is being chased down by Wind, who managed to knock him up, but there was relatively poor fall through. Morning is going for the early
TP coming in for Morning.
Green Tea is taking a whole ton of damage from Lupin. Lupin is in the back lines poking down Ziv now, who is also joining the fight. But I think TB is just going to back off here. It seems as if they can't really risk it. Oh, Morning is Mr. Albus takes down Wind. Mr. Albus dies for his troubles. So it is a 1-1 trade, but also a nice threaded needle attempt there on the enemy jungler.
And the dragon is up already.
Indeed.
Let's see. I don't think AHQ is actually healthy enough to take this, so they're probably just going to back up there. In that top lane with trade, we can see because the Maokai actually went for the dragon fight earlier, he gave up a lot of the lane farm to Morning, so we can see that Morning is already up a very decent amount of CS